Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. So I just wanted to go ahead and do a quick post-fight review over Joyce's win over Christian Hammer. Obviously, it was a short fight, so this is the reason why this is a short post-fight video. So, where do I start? So, the first round, definitely, the action picked up from there. Obviously, that was due to Joyce applying the relentless pressure, pressure that he's known to do. Yes, he landed a couple good shots in the round, but I gave that round to Christian Hammer because Joyce was constantly getting caught with so many overhand rights. I mean, it was just like no tomorrow, and Christian Hammer was landing flush on Joyce, but Joyce, being durable that he is and the great chin, and to me, he got probably one of the best, probably the best chin in boxing right now. Arguably, got the best chin right. He took it; it kept coming forward. So, but he didn't really have much of an output to win that round, even though he was competitive. But I gave that round to Hammer because he landed some very, very flush, good right hands. I think it was 3 or 4 of them that he landed in that round, which that to me gave him the first round. Then after that, Joyce went back to applying the relentless pressure. He started to mix up his shots a bit better, but this time around he adjusted by targeting the body to slow down Hammer. And from that standpoint, Christian Hammer was pretty much exhausted after the second round. He was put down at the end of the third round with a left hook on. You can argue it was the back of the head, but what happened was that Hammer had ducked underneath that shot, and it came over the back of his head. It was not an intentional back of the head shot, but you can argue that it hit his neck or something like that. But he was complaining that he got clubbed in the back of the head. But in actuality, it was him that ducked underneath that shot, which caused that Joyce to land the shot the way he did. But more so, I think he was put down. Not just the fact that it was the shot that landed on the back of his head. I think he was put down more to the fact that he was exhausted. He was getting hit with these body shots, and those body shots were pretty big. They're pretty brutal. And the one thing about Joyce is that yes, he is painfully slow, but once he start landing those shots, boy, you're gonna feel them. They're gonna hurt. And Hammer was feeling those shots, and he was exhausted after the second round. Now, it can also be, I think it was a contribution or a collaboration of two things. One, he took the fight, I think, on a 2-week notice, I believe, and he didn't come in the best condition, obviously because he took the fight on short notice, and so he wasn't totally prepared for this particular fight. So if you could combine that along with the relentless pressure and the body shots that Joyce was applying on Hammer, it took a toll on him because obviously in the fourth round he went down like 2-3 times. I think 3 times before Victor Laughlin decided to stop the fight. He just couldn't handle the body shots. The body shots were killing. I mean, was really taking a toll on Hammer, and he was gasping for air. Just exhaustion, and at the same time he was getting hurt with some big power shots too. Good bit. It was a stay busy fight with Joyce. He definitely improved much better from the Carlos Takam fight. So where does he go from here? I know he is the WBO mandatory challenger, but let's face it, he's not going to be fighting the winner of Joshua Usyk anytime soon because the WBO mandatory, as I was saying, the WBO mandatory will not be called after the Usyk Joshua winner, and the reason being is because of the Usyk was the mandatory challenger last year, so that has already been fulfilled. Now, according to the rotation, the WBA should call their mandatory. I think they will. They will call their mandatory to the winner of Joshua Usyk too, which more likely is going to be Usyk. But just say hypothetically that happens, and then should the winner of the WBA mandatory fight come around, then the IBF is going to call its next mandatory, and then the WBO. So Joyce is going to be waiting to get his shot probably till next year. And you can forget about the Tyson Fury fight because I don't see that happening anytime soon, given the fact that Tyson Fury's got some legal issues that he's going to have to sort out. if you know what I'm referring to, it's the Daniel Kinahan situation. So he's got to sort that out, and that could take up to maybe 2 years or so. But sooner the better, I guess. But I digress. Whatnot. And also, it's worth pointing out that Tyson Fury has yet to sort out the UK license situation, because he hasn't yet to get back his UK license, and we know why. He hasn't been able to do that. So yeah, forget about the Tyson Fury fight happening this summer. That's not going to happen. I mean, not summer, this fall. This is not going to happen. So yeah, Joe Joyce is going to be waiting a while to get his title shot. So we'll have to see what his next step is, or what his next opponent is going to be. Hopefully it'd be Joseph Parker, but I don't see that either now that Parker's signed on to Sky, which I'm very upset about, but it is what it is. Let me know what your thoughts is. I'm out.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. As Carl Frampton had pointed out during the middle of the broadcast of the fight, Joe Joyce is a very hittable guy. I mean, this guy gets hit way too much for anyone's liking. And it seems like, given the fact that Hammer has been hitting him countlessly with some overhand rights throughout the fight while it lasted, that's something they're really going to have to sort out. Yes, he has a titanium chin, but at some point, sometime when that chink, that arm is going to crack. And when he gets hit by someone who's a very, very, very big puncher, let's just say maybe Deontay Wilder, that punch resistance is going to deplete. So he's going to have to figure that out. But the one thing I would say is that Joe Joyce does give all the other heavyweights problems because of his work engine, his relentless pressure, and his obviously his durability. And arguably he has the best durability when it comes to among the active heavyweights. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out.